Hello there, and welcome to my CSE project application demo. My name is Sean O'Hare, and I'll be walking you through my application today. So let's get started with a high-level overview of my project. First of all, the goal that was set out for us as CSE335 students was to build a semester-long application. So with that, I chose to do a team-based application that hosts a database of users and events for coordination between the coach and the individual athlete, and can be used by club teams or high school level sports teams or varying user groups. So with that, the target customer for my application would be private skills coaches in football, soccer, baseball, or softball, and it would be the students of that private skills coach. So let's start with my class diagram. So up here on the top, we have the login view controller. And what the login view controller does is it regulates and authenticates new and returning users with the Firebase real-time database. And then if you choose to sign up with an account, then that takes you to the add user view controller, which also uses the Firebase real-time database in order to create a user account. And then once you're authenticated as a user, then it takes you to the user alter view controller, where you can edit your profile and update fields such as your name, your school, and your age. And then if you so choose, you can add events, and events are associated with your unique user. And then that takes you to the add event view controller, which also has a kit map that pops up with the location of your event that you enter in a text field. And then if you want to view your list of events in a table view, then there's another button on the tab bar where you can view your list of events. And then that's shown, as I said, in a table view. And then if you click on an event in the table view, then it takes you to a details page. And then in that details view controller, it shows the weather of the event based on the latitude and longitude or the location of the event. And then that's the class diagram. And then next we'll look at the MVC architecture diagram. So this is my MVC architecture diagram of my application. So as you see, it starts with the login view controller, which you also can go to the sign up and the add user view controller, and then both of those branch to a tab bar controller with the 3 tabs that I mentioned before, with the user alter tab being the primary one that it goes to, and then 2 alternative view controllers being the add event view controller and the event view controller. The add event controller directly can modify the model because it allows for event creation, as well as the add user view controller modifies the model, and the user alter view controller can also edit the model because they're all act upon either the coach athlete being the user or the events being the model. And then the view controller has the data source line, which has the number of rows in section, and the self for row at methods, which are the data source methods of the table view. And then branching off of the event view controller is the details view controller, which has the details of the event from the model. Some functions and features and capabilities of my application. I was able to implement a login and user authentication function for the application that is associated with the Firebase real-time database. And having that authentication functionality allows for multiple users for the application, as well as those users to have individualized data that is associated with their profile. That data being the name, age, school association, as well as unique events for each user. And allowing the unique user profile information, the users can also edit their own profile information with the user alter view controller. New users can also be created in the application. You don't have to do that in the database if you don't want, as well as these users have a unique ID. And with each user's unique ID, they have, as I mentioned previously, they have a list of attributes. If a particular user wanted to view their list of events, they could do so by looking at the table view in the events view controller. And then, as I had mentioned before, if a user clicks on an event in the table view list, then a details page is loaded with weather data based on the location of their event. And events have the following attributes. They have a title, a start time, and end time, a type, whether that be practice or game, and a location attribute. So some limitations of my application are when viewing the details page of an event, the event details are not shown. Only the weather data is shown upon button click. And there's no data validation and data integrity validation for string input fields and date and time selection inputs. And another limitation is the users cannot have a profile picture at this time. Alrighty, so at this time we're going to jump over and do a live demonstration of my application, as well as I will demo the Firebase real-time database and some of the functionality. Let's see how it's going. Alrighty, so this is a test account that I've made for demonstration purposes. Got a username and a temporary password. Alrighty, there we go. So as you can see, if you don't enter the correct password, it doesn't let you in. So this is my test account that I've created. First name was test, last name was user, age is integer, and then the school I put was ASU. And then I will pull up the Firebase database now. Alrighty, so with the real-time database pulled up, I will demonstrate editing. So if I want to edit my last name, instead of user to be my last name, and if I want my first name instead of test to be my first name, and then if I hit save, you can see it made an update and it changed the first name to here and then the last name to here. And then if I want to update my age, instead of 22, let's say 21, hit save and it updates the field. There we go. Changes back. Okay, and then that's that first pane, the edit user pane. And then if I go here, I want to create an event. Go okay, enter title of event. So actually, I probably need an actual city in order to make this work. So let's see. Tempe should work. Yep, there we go. Tempe. So it found the city of Tempe. There we go. And if I want to add this event, go boom. You can see in the user events section, I have my new event. Here's the attributes that we added. And you say game, marked game. Okay. And then if I want to view the list of events, then I go to this middle tab. And you see here's the event that we just created, the test demo G1. Here's the other two test events, test event game. And the other one was test event practice. So let's say we want to look at the weather for this test event. So we go get weather. It shows the last weather call. It shows degrees in Celsius. It shows the humidity. It shows the dew point. It shows wind speed. And if we want to look at the event that we just made, that's in Tempe. Speed of 10, dew point of negative 2.8 degrees, humidity at 12%, temperature, that was from this afternoon. So yeah, this is the live demo of my application. And then this was the test user account. So some next steps and a final reflection. Some lessons I learned during this process of app development with this course was I learned a whole bunch about Xcode and storyboard based app development, a lot about the MVC architecture, as well as using NoSQL and manipulating key value pairs for objects in the Firebase database. And another lesson that I learned was utilizing a tab bar controller to achieve a multifaceted UI. And some plans for future versions of my application is I would like to have additional attributes for users, additional attributes for events, better use of the MapKit functionality. I would like to have Google Calendar event integration so that when a user creates an event, it actually creates a calendar event and it invites the coach to said calendar event for better coordination between the students and the coach. More fleshed out UI, and obviously the immediate one was to show the event details on the detail page for the events. So yeah, thanks for listening in on my presentation about my CSE335 semester project application. Thanks. Goodbye.